you would have been probably one of the only people, really, to have been under the reigns of Jim Herd, Kip Fry, Bill Watts, and Eric Bischoff. I suppose there's actually quite a few people who did that. But do you remember, first off, Jim Herd? Do you remember any stories about Jim Herd?
I always like to remember is if Jim Herd was there when I got there, he was there for such a short time. I never got to know him. I was more, under that, Bill Watts, Eric Bischoff, and Dusty Rhodes was there for a while. So I don't really remember Jim Herd too much. Oh, and obviously Kip Fry too. He was there when I remember him first coming in when I was there too.
Yeah. Did you sort of hope that you got signed when he was writing the checks?
Well, my first contract was a year, and then it doubles the next year, and then my third contract, thank God, was done by Eric Bischoff because Bill Watts cut everybody's pay in half. He made guys take pay cuts, and he just came in there and just bulldozed everything. But thank goodness I was getting ready to leave for the WWF on my third year. And I went and had dinner with Vince, and we were coming to terms, and Eric gave me a sweet deal to keep me there for 3 more years. So it wasn't 3 more years later that I got to finally go to the WWF.
Well, so do you remember what other changes Bill Watts made? Because I remember he took the mats away at one point.
Nothing off the top rope. Couldn't jump off the top rope. Took the mats away. It was just, it was like, I don't know, it was like high school football or something where the coach just was like dogmatic on it. This is how it's going to be, with no, you had no say, and he was very strict. I mean, there were a lot, you weren't allowed to ride, if you're wrestling a guy, you weren't allowed to ride in the same car with him. Good guys have to be with good guys and bad guys with bad guys,
Do you also remember, because I remember this from Mick Foley's first book, you couldn't leave the building until...
Oh yeah. I until the matches were all over, I believe. I think he made everyone stay, which I got to tell you, when you look back on it, and I've talked about this before, is one of the guys I respect the most that watched matches all the time was Steve Austin. He just learned everybody's moves. He watched the matches, and then you wonder why you have such good match with this guy. He knows all your moves. He knows what to call. He was amazing, So watching the matches does help you become a better worker, better wrestler. But, some of the old timers are like, I ain't going to stay and watch a match. I want to go home or whatever,
So you maybe the further on in your career, maybe you could appreciate some of the things Bill Watts was doing then.
I can, yes. But, looking back more on things that I've learned through when I wish I would have done different, that I could have been a much better worker, were things like watching a guy like Stone Cold watching the matches all the time, or Diamond Dallas Page videotaping all the matches. He was always videotaping matches, and Diamond Dallas Page and I would go down to the power plant and try to get better with our moves. But it's not so much the moves, it's the psychology of wrestling that's really important, that a lot of people don't realize. Some of the best workers were not guys that are doing high spots,
Do you smell what The Rock is cooking?
Enough is enough!
Had him writhing in pain from my sharpshooter.
Rocky!
I am not a nugget!
Stick him straight up your candy ass!
I kicked your leg out of your leg.
The Rock